Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I have for you a quick tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to place multiple items into an item frame. Now the trick here is that we're actually going to have multiple item frames in the same space. So we want to place down our item frame, put down our first item, and then we're going to right click with the item frame in the space around the edge of the block here. So if we right click on the item frame, we're going to rotate this, which is not what we want to do. We want to right click on the edge here so you can see that another item frame actually gets placed into the same position. Now the next thing to do is to log out, and when we log back in we'll have a chance of interacting with the second one, which is actually empty. So if we right click with our ender pearl, you can see that this time we didn't get lucky, so we need to place down another item frame, log out again and then log back in, and then place down the ender pearl, and there you go, this time we have placed the ender pearl, so now we have two items appearing in the same item frame. So there is more to this than just what I've shown you so far. We had a fair bit of luck placing the ender pearl into the item frame, and sometimes this can be quite tedious. So there is actually a way to increase your chance of being able to interact with the empty item frame, and that is by placing more item frames onto the blocks. If I right click here, you can see I can actually continuously right click and place more and more item frames into the same space. Now if I press F3, you can see our entity count, which is E, is 11/12, and that is 11 item frames, and the 12th entity is the player, myself. So every time I right click on this, we're increasing that, and this is why I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. It does increase the chances of being able to interact with the item frame first time, but it also contributes to entities, which means your FPS can be lowered. So if I press that a bunch of times, you can actually see my FPS is going down ever so slightly. We were at 270, we're now down to 230, but now when I log out and log back in, we should be able to place down a second item first time, which we have, although you can't see it. So this is another problem as well. If I rotate this, you can see some strange visual effects happening here. Now this happens with certain combinations of items, and it also depends on what order you put them into the item frame. So by placing the Nether Star first and the Ender Pearl second, they actually combine perfectly, and you can even see here that the enchantment effect that the Nether Star has, it gets passed over to the Ender Pearl as well. So if you're playing on a server, logging out and logging back in again might not work because there'll be other players in the area keeping the chunks loaded. So what you can do as an alternative is place down a fence post and then put your item frame and item into it, and then place a second item frame and maneuver into the middle here. So when you're standing here, you should be able to interact with the second item frame. So by right clicking, you can place down a second item and you can rotate that as well, and then from the front you can rotate the other item. And so if you're not happy with having this on a fence post, you can actually remove that and replace it with a full block as well, as long as you do that quickly. And so that is how you place multiple items into an item frame. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.